happy Tuesday and welcome to the weekly vlog. After the unfortunate excitement of last week, I'm very happy to say that I have a super boring week ahead of me. I have no plans for this week and I hope to keep it that way. I don't want to do anything. If you missed last week's vlog, I got robbed at work. 4 men in masks with hammers coming in, smashing everything and stealing a bunch of camera gear. It's not a great week, and immediately after that happened, I had 1 day off, and then I've worked 6 days in a row, so I am exhausted. I have tomorrow off, finally, and I am just spending the whole day in bed, cozy, reading, gaming, whatever I want to do. But I'm not talking to anybody tomorrow. It's going to be great. I do need to film my May TBR and my April wrap-up. It's already May 5th, and I haven't even filmed my May TBR yet, so my bad. But I've been a little distracted. But aside from doing those 2 things, nothing else is getting done tomorrow, and I can't wait for it. And for the rest of my week after work, it's going to be nothing but chilling. I'm in such a huge mood to read right now, so I definitely want to get in some good reading. I'll get into my current reads in a moment and then my plans for the rest of the week. But also, I started playing a new game, which I'm going to promote the hell out of because it is one of my friend's first indie game that she's published with her partner. It's called Love at the Milky Way Diner. It's a queer sci-fi cooking and dating sim. 1 second, look at Tony. Look at this guy. Oh my god, he's so cute. As I was saying, it's a queer sci-fi cooking and dating sim, and it is delightful so far. And yeah, it's my friend's very first indie published game. I've been friends with her since like the 7th grade. I watched her kind of gradually learn how to draw and get really passionate about art. She went to school for animation and then moved out to Vancouver shortly after university was over. She was working for like one of the big game dev companies in Vancouver, but now she is her own business with her partner, and their first game just came out semi-recently. I bought it a couple months ago. I just haven't had the chance to start playing it yet, but I started playing it on Sunday and it is delightful. I'm having such a good time with it. It's so much fun. The art is incredible. They're such talented artists and they put in so much effort for this game. They worked so hard for it and I really hope that it's doing well. So if you want to give it a shot, I'll leave the link to the Steam game down below. At the time that I bought it, it was only $17 Canadian, so it's not even expensive. And it's always good to support the indie artists as well, especially in this age of AI and things being made quickly and artists losing all their jobs. It's very nice to support indie, so definitely do so if you are a cozy gamer. But yeah, I'll be spending a good chunk of my week playing that game. I can't wait to get more into it. The story is really fun so far. You can romance any of the characters. I'm not sure if you can do multiple yet, but I'm hoping that you can. We'll find out because I have several that I like a lot and the recipes are also really cool, so I can't wait to start cooking more in the game as well. It's gonna be great. But aside from that, let's get on to the reading stuff. So right now I've got 2 ongoing reads. First up, I'm reading We Are Legion, We Are Bob by Dennis E. Taylor. I am currently 41% of the way through and having a pretty good time with it. This one is a sci-fi about a man who, at the beginning of the story, it was set in like our time-ish, I think a few years in the future, but not by a whole lot. And he just paid to have his brain cryogenically frozen whenever he dies to be kept on ice until the time comes in the future where they learn how to reanimate people. Later that same day, he ends up being hit by a car and immediately dies, and he wakes up a little over 100 years in the future to a time where people who were cryogenically frozen are no longer considered to be human. They're not people anymore. They are actually considered to be property. So he wakes up as a robot and he's sent out into space as a probe trying to find habitable planets for humans to colonize. I thought this was going to be more of a like first contact sort of thing, and maybe it will be later on in the story, but right now it's really just like a space race kind of thing, and it's a little bit boring in that way. It's like a whole bunch of different countries on Earth are all kind of going after the same thing, and some people are trying to stop it from happening in general. Others are trying to get there first, and it's just like a whole bunch of politics that I don't really care about. I like the main character, Bob. He's really fun. He's hilarious. He's very witty and charming. Just this big old nerd, just happy to be floating through space. He's cloning himself and getting all of his different personalities into his clones, and it's a really fun story for that part of it, but all the politics is just a little bit not that interesting to me. So I like half of it, dislike the other half, and I'm hoping that at some point in this book or maybe future books there will be some first contact stuff going on, because that'd be really cool. I do think that I would like this book more over audio. I'm reading the ebook from Kindle Unlimited, but all the audiobooks are Audible only, and I don't want to start an Audible book and that I spent a credit for when I'm already like halfway through the book. So I'm just going to finish this one over ebook, and then if I want to continue the series, I'll do the audiobooks for it from there. And then my other current read is Violet Made of Thorns by Gina Chen. I am 67% of the way through. This one is a romantic fantasy about a witch who is kind of like a seer of the future. She can like read people's threads and see their memories and predict their future. She works for the royal family. She and the prince fucking hate each other, but also they're kind of in love just like a little bit and just heavily in denial for the entirety of the book. Their banter is hysterical. I totally see why this book is compared to The Cruel Prince, because they definitely have that hatred that, I forget the main characters, Jude and whatever the other guy's name is, the prince. They have that same kind of banter, and I am living for it. It's so much fun. I am kind of sad though that I'm liking this book so much, because it was supposed to be a series, but the second book never got written. So if this book ends on a cliffhanger, I'm just never gonna find out what happens, and I'm sad about that. And just given where I am in the plot right now, I can't see how everything will wrap up nicely in the time that I have left, which means it's probably going to end up being a cliffhanger, and I'm just like a little bit upset. But it's fine, it is what it is. I'll just enjoy the ride while I'm here and then just make up my own ending, I guess. But yeah, those are the current reads. And then for what I'm planning on reading for the rest of the week, I am super in the mood for sci-fi right now because of the game that I'm playing. And when I was starting Love at the Milky Way Diner, it reminded me so much of the Wayfarer series by Becky Chambers. If you like that series, definitely play that game. But I really want to continue on with the series, so I'm hoping to pick up a Record of a Spaceborn Few this week. That'll probably be happening next, most likely once I finish We Are Legion, We Are Bob. And then maybe I might pick up Oaths of Legacy by Emily Skretzky, which is book 2 of the Bloodright trilogy. I read book 1, I think at the very beginning of last year, and then just didn't carry on. Even though I really enjoyed it, I just never got around to picking up book 2, but I've been putting this book on like every single TBR since then and just keep not getting to it. So if the sci-fi mood is still around, I will pick this one up. Other than that, I'm not really sure what else I'm planning on reading. I have to pick a new audiobook for once I finish Violet Made of Thorns, which might be Cytonic by Brennan Sanderson. Not sure, actually. We'll see. I don't know. I'll pick something. I'm just really in the mood to read, so I want to capitalize on that because I've not been in a huge mood to read the last week or so. Understandably, I've not been able to focus very well, but I'm back and I want to just read everything all at once, basically. Anyways, I'm gonna stop yapping. I have to leave for work in like 10 minutes and I'm still in my PJs, so I'm gonna go do that and we will chat later on in the week. Is this thing on? Can you hear me? I hope so. The light's on, so I'm gonna assume that it's just working. I got a microphone. Look at me go, moving up in the world. I've been wanting to get a microphone for a while because the one that I had before was so bad. It was just like a $10 lav mic that was like a wired thing to the camera. It was awful. And I also feel like it didn't really work. Like I didn't notice much of a difference when I had it on versus when I didn't have it on. So I don't even know if it was doing anything. But I got the DJI Mic Mini 2. I was gonna get just the regular, like the older version of it because it was a little bit cheaper, but the Mic Mini 2 just came out a few days ago and my work got them in. We did not have the older version of it, and with my employee discount, the 2 was only like $8 more expensive than the older version was, so I just went for the new and improved version of it. Might as well. What do you have to say? I'm still figuring out the best way to hold it. I don't want to just have to hold it in my hand the whole time, but I feel like when it's pinned to the shirt, it sounds bad. Like, let me try that. I don't know, I feel like it's more muffled. I obviously can't hear it right now, but I did tests the other night, and yeah, I feel like when it's like this, it's a lot more muffled. Anyways, it doesn't actually matter. I'm just gonna hold it for the time being. Anyways, moving on from that. Hi, happy Thursday. I just missed my bus, so I figured might as well update the weekly vlog while I'm waiting for the next one, because I have several reading updates for you since Monday. I meant to update yesterday since it was my day off, but I did not do that. I had so many things to do and I had a great time. That was such a good day off. I just worked 6 days in a row, and yesterday was a self-care day and it was fantastic. I slept in a bit. I had a really nice long hot shower. I exfoliated my entire body. I did some skincare, I did a face mask, I made a good breakfast and spent some time reading on the couch. I took a walk. It was just a lovely day overall. Did a bunch of house cleaning. Great day yesterday. But I did also do a whole whack of reading. So let's see what's happened since Monday. Okay, so I finished Violet Made of Thorns by Gina Chen. This was amazing. Oh my god, this was so good. I had a blast with this book. Was the romance cheesy? Absolutely. The romance was like a little bit too abrupt. Like they would be hating each other and just like arguing and bickering. Then in her head, she's like, oh, but he's so handsome. And I wish that was just like a little bit more subtle and gradual. And the plot was a little bit predictable, but in a way that was kind of fun and felt more like a fairy tale. So aside from those couple of minor things, this was such a great read. I'm so sad that it never got a sequel. I think this would have done so well as a duology. I was looking at the author's Instagram page and she does talk about on there why it was never a sequel, and she just didn't have the mental bandwidth to do so. But as is, it was kind of written to be a duology a little bit, so there are like not huge cliffhangers for the end, but it was definitely left open where a sequel would have been nice to have. But as is, it was still a great ending. It was a mostly satisfying ending, just not fully satisfying for it to be a standalone, but it is what it is. But yeah, I had a great time with this book. I gave it a solid 4-star. And then yesterday I started and today finished Make Me a Monster by Kalynn Bayron, which is a YA horror romance with like Frankenstein vibes to it. And this was also fantastic. I was actually planning on DNFing it around like 25 to 30% in because I really was not vibing with the romance in it. It was just so juvenile, which I know it's a YA book, so it is meant to be, but I was reading it and I was just like, man, I am not the target audience for this, and I was not enjoying it at all because it was just so like, oh, like I want to say that I love you, but I can't say it, and it's just like, just ugh, you know, kids. But I kept listening to it because I was just kind of busy at the time and just didn't get around to turning it off. And there was a plot twist that I did not actually see coming, and it got real interesting and real good from there. So I'm glad that I stuck it through. This was so fun. I had a blast with it. I haven't put it through Cowpile yet, but it'll probably get at least a 4-star, possibly a 4.5. Maybe like a 4.25. I think that sounds right. I don't usually use the quarter stars, but sometimes it feels right. This was my pick for both of the buzzword challenges this month. The regular buzzword challenge was to have the word make in the title, and the buzzword covers was to have a frame or a border, and the character's face on the cover is bordered by roses, so I think that should count. I hope so. It counts to me. I have made minimal progress in We Are Legion, We Are Bob. I am 49% of the way through, and honestly, kind of bored. I'm actually really bored. I'm not gonna lie. It's just so much space battles. It's just battle after battle after battle, and I'm like, oh my god, stop. I think that I would like this book a lot better over audio, but I think I was saying before that it's only on Audible, and I'm really picky with what I use my Audible credits for because they're so expensive, and I don't want to use a credit for a book that I'm already halfway through, but I also don't want to restart the book. So I don't know if I'm going to DNF it. I might just put it on hold for a while and come back to it later on when I'm more in the mood for that. I like the tone of it. I like the humor. The plot is interesting, but it's just so many space battles. So I don't know. I'm going to put that on pause for the time being and just come back to it later on. And finally, for right now, is A Record of a Spaceborn Few by Becky Chambers. I have finally picked this one up. I'm already loving it. I'm not very far in. I'm only on page 18. I started last night and was very quickly falling asleep on the couch. I started it way too late. It was like almost midnight when I picked it up. I should have known that lying down on the couch covered in a blanket with a fireplace going and a book was not a recipe for staying up late reading. So I very quickly fell asleep, but that is okay. I've at least started it and I'm already quite enjoying it. No idea what the plot of this one's going to be. I did not look it up. I just picked it up because I know that I love this author and I've been so in the mood for sci-fi lately. So I'll check back in with this one once I have some more thoughts on it. But yeah, those are all the updates for right now. Lots of reading done in the last couple of days. I'm having a great time. I'm glad that I got my reading mojo back since last week. I'm still kind of struggling with like staying focused on things, but I think I'm in the right path of picking things that I know that I'm gonna love, and things that are like kind of quicker, snappier reads seems to be helping quite a bit. But yeah, that'll do it for right now. I think it is just about time to head out and catch my second bus and get to work. So I will chat with you guys later on. Good morning and happy Sunday. I have several reading updates actually. I don't even know what I talked about in the last update. Did I talk about Make Me a Monster? I think I did. I think I finished that one in the last update. I could be wrong. I have no idea. No, I did. I definitely did. Okay, but did I talk about In Other Lands? I have no idea. I'm just going to start with that one. I started reading In Other Lands by Rees, Brennan, which is my backlist berry pick for the month for my oldest books on my TBR. And I swiftly DNF'd that one. I think, how far did I get in? I got 9% of the way into that one and was not liking it, sadly. I wanted to. I love Portal Fantasy. It's a queer book. All those things sound great. However, the main character was insufferable, and he was meant to be, but I just couldn't deal with it. He was so fucking annoying. So that was a quick no for me on that one. I have also started A Record of a Spaceborn Few by Becky Chambers, book 3 in the Wayfarers series, and I am loving it. Currently, I'm on page 203 and just having the best of times, so I'm a little bit more than halfway through right now. I love this book so much. I'm just really enjoying and getting to know all these characters and seeing where they're all going and how they're all interacting in certain ways. I have a couple of favorite characters. Do I know any of their names? No. But I like, what's his name? Sawyer, I think. The guy that has definitely just accidentally become a criminal. Didn't mean to do that. Or is that Kip? No, that's definitely Sawyer. Okay, I like Sawyer. And then I think her name is Isabel. She's a human who is friends with a Harmagian, and the two of them are just hanging out, getting to know each other's cultures and species, and it's just lovely and adorable. And yeah, there's just so much about this book so far that is just delightful. I'm having a great time with it. I would like to finish this one up by the end of the day, maybe tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Me and my roommate are going a few cities away to go and pick up some funky art off of Facebook Marketplace today, so I don't know how much reading time I'll have in the evening, but fingers crossed I'll be able to get home in time to have a nice cozy evening spent on the couch with my book. Anyways, aside from that one, I also picked up and finished Shades of Magic Volume 2, Night of Knives by Schwab, the comic book series set in the Shades of Magic world, and this was great. This was a magical trial. Y'all know I love a good magical trial. This comic book series follows King Maresh, who is the father of the prince in the Shades of Magic series, the adoptive father of Kel, the main character. It's him when he was younger, when he was still the prince, and just kind of him getting his bearings in the world and as a future leader. And yeah, magical trial. Love that. That was really, really fun. And I liked the ending quite a bit. It was a bit of a cliffhanger. I already have the 3rd volume out from Libby, and I'll be starting that one probably tomorrow. And that'll be finishing up a series, which I'm very happy about. Finally, for right now, I have also started the audiobook for Dead Collections by Isaac Fellman, which is a queer, contemporary, humorous, romantic horror sort of idea about the main character who is a trans man in his 40s who is also a vampire, which in this context is more of a sickness. So he is dead. He is actually a full-on vampire. He has to receive blood transfusions to be able to keep on not living, but keep on being undead, I guess. He can't go out in the sun, all the normal vampire things, but in this world it's not like a transformation. It's just kind of an illness. And yeah, he meets somebody who is equally as weird as he is, and the two of them kind of hit it off and go from there, and it's really, really fun so far. I am currently 34% of the way through, and we'll be continuing that one into next week as well. I highly doubt that I'm going to finish it today. It's not a very long audiobook. I think total is only about 6.5 hours at regular speed, and I have it at 2.5 times speed, so I have about an hour and a half left, give or take. And yeah, I can't wait to see where the story goes. I love the characters, and the setting is really cool. The main character is an archivist, so he lives in a dusty library in the dark kind of thing, so having a good time there. But yeah, those are all the book updates for the time being. We are leaving shortly for a little adventure today. It's going to be a good time. I might bring my camera along and try and get some cool pictures while I'm out. We're going to go to a coffee shop and maybe do some thrifting and then pick up the stuff. It's going to be a lovely Sunday. I used to work every single Sunday, but I recently asked my boss if I could have Sundays off going forward, just because the bus schedule is not great on Sundays, and he agreed. So this is my first Sunday off in forever, and it's also really nice because literally all of my friends work Monday to Friday, so I'm not really able to see the majority of my friends pretty much ever, so this will be really nice to have time to hang out with people again. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna head out. I'll check back in probably sometime tomorrow to wrap up the vlog and give you my final thoughts on whatever I happen to make progress in. Hello, happy Monday. It's time to wrap up the weekly vlog. I don't think I actually have too many updates since yesterday. Actually, I do. I have 2 updates. First of all, being that yesterday I did end up finishing A Record of a Spaceborn Few by Becky Chambers. I read like 200 pages yesterday. I was very proud of myself. I just sat down on the couch and I locked in for several hours and it was lovely. I had a great time with this book. The ending made me cry and it was beautiful. I haven't put it through compile yet, but I think honestly this might be a 5-star or at least very close to it. Close enough that I'll probably just round it up to a 5-star because I am trying to be a little bit less stingy with my 5-star reads. I very, very rarely give out 5 stars. I think last year I read 208 books, and of those I only had 11 5 stars, and that just makes me kind of sad. So I do want to be a little bit less stingy with it and just hand out 5 stars wherever it might be applicable. And this is one of those cases where it wasn't necessarily a perfect book, but it had a really good emotional impact. I had a great time reading it. The quality of writing was wonderful. I loved the characters. The world was interesting. Just everything about it was just so good. And aside from a small handful of things that maybe could have been a little bit better, it was basically perfect, and I cried. So I'm gonna call that a 5-star. But yeah, this was just delightful, and I'm so happy that I read it. And I also now want to dive right into the 4th book of this series, but I am gonna wait a little bit just because I want to savor it. I think the 4th book is the last Becky Chambers book that I haven't read yet, so I do want to savor that until her new book comes out, which I think will be either the end of this year or the start of next year, one of the two, but soon enough where I can hold off on reading book 4 in this series to kind of tide me over until that book comes out. And then aside from that, I also finished Dead Collections by Isaac Fellman. Technically finished it Monday morning, but I'm just going to include it in this week's vlog just for the sake of not having to reintroduce it in next week's vlog. But I also quite enjoyed this one. I gave it a 4-star. It was really fun. I loved where the characters went. I thought the story was really fun. I think it felt maybe a little bit repetitive towards the end, and some of the fandom stuff felt a little bit not needed. But other than that, I had a really fun time with this book. I especially thought the humor was great. That was definitely my favorite part of it. And I really enjoyed the discussions of transness and the trans experience within fandom and kind of using fandom as a way to express your gender and kind of learn about yourself. That is the part where I did like the fandom aspects of this book, but towards the end of it, it was just a little bit too much fandom stuff. I've said the word fandom too many times in the last minute. But yeah, a good time with that one. I just don't have too many thoughts on it or too much to say about it, but it was a good time and I'm glad that I finally picked it up. It had been on my TBR since 2022, so it was far past time to give that one a read, and I am glad that I did. I think that's it. Let me see. Yes, that is it. That's all that I have to say for the time being. I do of course have more book updates now, but those are solidly Monday things and they'll be in next week's vlog instead, so stay tuned for that. Oh, and also yesterday our little outing was delightful. We ran some errands in the morning and then drove out to this beautiful little beach town, like not too far away from us, but far enough that it was a nice drive. We picked up the prints, which are so cute. We went to a coffee shop and then we went to the beach, even though it's way too cold to actually swim. We both just loved the water, and we found this ancient volleyball that was there that was probably like left over from last year, and it was all decrepit from sitting in the snow, but we just like kicked the ball back and forth for a bit and had fun. I brought my camera with me as well, and yeah, it was just a lovely day all around. And then we came home last night and we put up some more shelves, so I finally have my matching shelf up here. I think I showed it in some b-roll, but I just had this one shelf up before, but now I have the other one up there, and I put some photos up on the wall as well. So I'm finally at long last starting to get all of my art prints up on the wall. It's taken me forever, and we put up some family photos in the hallway as well. But yeah, it was a great day and overall a pretty good week. I'm happy to be enjoying the things that I'm reading again, because the week before this was a rough time, so this is much better. I think that'll do it for this week's vlog, so thank you as always for coming along. I appreciate you, and I hope you also had a fantastic week, and I will catch you in the next video.